2018 Jeep Compass Trailhawk Review. Welcome to Critic's Notebook, a quick and off-the-cuff car review of whatever the drive staff happens to be driving. Today's edition, the 2018 Jeep Compass Trailhawk. The 2018 Jeep Compass Trailhawk, by the numbers. Base price, as tested $28,695, $35,110. Powertrain, 2.4-liter inline four-cylinder engine, 180 horsepower, 175 pound-feet of torque, 9-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive. Ground clearance, 8.5 inches. Off-road angles, 30.3 degrees approach / 24.4 degrees breakover / 33.6 degrees departure. EPA fuel economy, 22 miles per gallon city / 30 miles per gallon highway. 0 to 60 miles per hour, 8.9 seconds, car and driver testing. Cargo space, 27 cubic feet, 60 cubes with the rear seats folded. Quick take, the diminutive Compass Trailhawk wants desperately to be a real Jeep, and surprisingly, it's damn close. I forgot about the rut. I'd done this hill at California's Hungry Valley Off-Road Park before, most recently in a galumphing Toyota Land Cruiser, but the axle-swallowing hole just over its tilted crest is out of sight and out of mind as I nose the 2018 Jeep Compass Trailhawk to the mound's crumbling base. The ascent is pockmarked with rocks and small craters. It's not what anyone would call a steep climb, but the degraded surface requires consistent forward progress and a steady hand in something small like the compass. I start up, the little Jeep devouring the moonscape as it had done all day. But near the top, its limited articulation forces an angry wheel into the air several times, each carry costing precious momentum as the trucklet's all-wheel drive system halts power to the flying Falcons and sorts itself out. There's no backing off the throttle in these moments. Eventually, the Trailhawk manages to put 4 patches of rubber on the ground near the top and claw its way to glory. I'm feeling good, except, I'm also feeling the cabin tipping more than it show, wham. When I came over the crest, I had inadvertently lined up my passenger side tire with the miniature black hole lying in wait, and I didn't let off the gas in time to stop. Fortunately it wasn't big enough to catch the entire front end of the Compass, but it sucked up the whole 17-inch front wheel, which dangled freely in the pit for a split second as the full weight of the Jeep came down on the underside of its front bumper and the rocker panel behind it. That would be the earth-tilting wham. But before I can process any of that, let alone my poor passengers, whom I had assured not 2 minutes ago that the Jeep could totally manage this climb, our momentum forces the front wheel out of its apparent grave and carries us to a level finish. I'm convinced something must be broken, but there are no warning lights on the dash, and the Trailhawk feels as normal as anything can off-piste. When we pull off the path and get out to double-check, I'm amazed to find the sum total of the damage, a 1/4-inch chip on the bumper's plastic underside. This thing can, in fact, take a beating. The Jeep Compass is not the first name in off-roading, nor the second, nor even the 10th. Its mere existence deeply bothers Jeep loyalists, who see its car-based platform and soft edges and front-wheel drive, on lesser models, as heretical to their creed. They had a point with the mediocre first version, despite the fact that the Compass has always been a volume seller whose market success has helped Jeep tremendously from a financial standpoint. But there's less to complain about with the recently launched second generation, especially when it comes to the off-road focused Compass Trailhawk. You'll notice the name Rubicon appears nowhere here, since the Compass would fail spectacularly on the famed rock-crawling trail that Jeep uses to pump up stock Wranglers. It's still a unibody crossover with independent suspension and limited articulation. However, the Jeep Compass Trailhawk pushes its platform to the edge, with a factory lift kit, for skid plates, off-road bumpers and tires, and a terrain-adjustable AWD system with a low-range, crawling gear. It's one of the few small crossovers out there that offers any sort of real 4x4 capability. Does that make it a real Jeep? And at $35,000, does it make sense to buy one over, a real Jeep? 2018 Jeep Compass Trailhawk, the pros. Let's get right to the good stuff. Outside of situations where the sheer physics of a boulder-strewn trail or deep mud bog defeat the Compass Trailhawk before it even starts, the little CUV is nigh unstoppable off-road thanks to its excellent AWD system, generous ground clearance, and yawning approach and departure angles. Those skid plates, protecting the engine, transmission, and fuel tank, certainly come in handy. Thrown into a variety of tilting descents, desert washes, and yes, even a little mud at Hungry Valley, the Jeep proved its rugged guise is more than an act. It's the eager kid to the Wrangler's mountain goat, not as strong or graceful, but more than able to clamber along with a determined attitude and a good head of steam. The Jeep Active Drive Low AWD on the Trailhawk is about as close as you can get to a real four-wheel drive system in any crossover short of maybe the Range Rover Velar. It primarily runs in front-wheel drive mode on pavement, but depending on the select-terrain mode you choose, it can send 100% of the engine's power to any single wheel. There's also brake-based torque vectoring, and a lock button to hold the power split at 50-50 front to back. But Active Drive Low has one more trick up its sleeve. First gear in the 9-speed transmission has been reprogrammed to act like proper low range and boasts a 20-to-1 crawl ratio. The gearbox starts in second under normal driving. It's the rare front drive biased system that's invisible on the road, yet unstoppable off it. Jeep's finally developed its modern design language to a comfortable place, and this generation of the Compass is leagues above the late-aught stagnation seen everywhere on its predecessor. It still carries a whiff of compromise on lower trims. The low air dam is a personal bugaboo, but the Compass Trailhawk finally makes the little guy look like a proper Jeep. The half-inch suspension lift is enough to give it a noticeably tall stance, and the front off-road bumper and red tow hooks are a fine statement of purpose. And as I discovered, that plastic cladding isn't just for show. The raised suspension coupled with the grippy all-terrain Falcon tires gives the Compass Trailhawk a decidedly trucky ride on pavement, something I genuinely appreciated. There's a bit of bounce on crumbling roads, enough to give it character but not enough to detract from the driving experience. Consider its rougher feel the SUV equivalent of engineers programming old-school crackles into a new sports car's exhaust. It helps that as optioned, the inside was surprisingly comfortable for a cheap Jeep. The leather seats, panoramic sunroof, and 8.4-inch Uconnect screen were all appreciated. This Jeep might not be for the every weekend off-roader, but it still belongs to that special class of vehicles capable of launching you headfirst into this great, wild country of ours. I'll do my best to dance around car commercial cliches here. The Compass Trailhawk is an excellent tool for casual exploration, the kind of let's-see-where-this-dirt-road-head spontaneity that can open the door to a greater appreciation of the natural world around us. It's true that there are plenty of decent 4x4s out there, yet few offer the combo of small car convenience and remarkable capability found here. 2018 Jeep Compass Trailhawk, the cons. As impressive as the Jeep Compass Trailhawk can be off-road, its on-pavement manners are equally miserable at points. The handling isn't the issue, even though some may not find its wandering ways on the highway as endearing as I did. No, it's the fact that the 3,600-pound Compass only comes with the same 2.4-liter four-cylinder available the smaller Renegade. Acceleration from 0 to 60 miles per hour clocks in at a pokey 8.9 seconds, and the 19 miles per gallon I scored over a week of mixed driving confirms that naturally aspirated engine is overworked most of the time. The 9-speed transmission is a common source of complaints in other reviews. I found it fine, if I could bring myself to be patient, but it was easily confused with an aggressive poke.